Morning, afternoon, or evening from wherever you are, and welcome to InstructureCon Sideshow events, proudly sponsored by Crystal Delta. My name is Trevor, and I'll be your moderator for today. Before we begin, just some housekeeping items. Please post your questions in the chat box provided, and we'll answer these at the very end of the session. For those attending, you will be added to the draw to win your organization a one-year license to Laurie Course Designer. That's enough from me. We'll be discussing the one simple solution to course migrations and archiving. Please welcome David McKenzie, Chief Technology Officer here at Crystal Delta. David, take it away.
Thank you very much, Trevor. Hi, everyone. Hope you're enjoying InstructureCon 2021. I'm David McKenzie, or DMAC as most people call me. I'm CTO of Crystal Delta, and I've been a software engineer for around about 20 years. And I've been working at Crystal Delta really since the start about 7 years ago. And Crystal Delta is a software engineering company who really specializes in education technology. They have quite a few education products and also quite a few services in the education and software engineering industry. We'll go through a few of those now. The agenda for today's presentation, I'm going to give a quick overview of our EdTech ecosystem at Crystal Delta, but then we're really going to get into the guts of the presentation and talk about migrating courses. How can we migrate courses faster, easier than we've been doing before in the past? And then I'm also going to talk about archiving and how you can archive your courses or your old courses so that you can view them in the future. So we're going to get straight into migration. But before we get into migration, we'll give a quick overview of Crystal Delta's EdTech ecosystem. At Crystal Delta, we really see that the LMS is the core of the ecosystem, and we offer services around the LMS. And we're kind of LMS agnostic, so not just Canvas, but any LMS, but we do a lot of work in Canvas. So one of the first things that we do is the course migration service, and we'll talk about that in detail today. And we have a tool called Crane to help with that. But we also have another tool called Laurie, which is a course authoring tool used by academics or learning designers to help create awesome course content. You can create templates, save templates, and drag and drop a template as a starting point onto the course. And then you can really create a course content that looks much more like a beautiful website than just boring text. We also have a course building service where we can create course content and beautiful course content, and we use Laurie for that service. So if you want course content created, you can use our course build service. We also have another product called OLCI, which is a learning and analytics platform, which tries to predict student outcomes and using a lot of data coming from various sources, tries to predict at-risk students so that you can know when to intervene to help students get their best results. And lastly, we do quite a lot of custom development in the education space, and we build a lot of LTIs, a lot of Canvas LTIs. Most recently, we built a gamification LTI, we built an at-risk student LTI, and a parental LTI so that parents can see what their children are doing at school. And also a lot of integration services. Maybe the LMS wants to talk back to the student information system, and we do a lot of integration development work as well. It's a brief overview of our EdTech ecosystem, but let's now get stuck into course migrations. So picture this scenario. You've got your hands on your brand new shiny LMS, preferably Canvas since this is InstructureCon. You have a heap of courses in your old LMS, but you realize that Canvas has an import course feature. And you also realize that your old LMS has an export course feature. So this is going to be easy. We're just going to export from our old LMS and we're going to import into Canvas. And how easy can that be? So you begin your first migration. You export the course, you import it, and everything goes smoothly. And you think this is going to be a breeze. I could just go through the rest of them now. It's going to be easy. But then you start going through the content and looking at all the content in the course. And one of the first things that you'll notice is that all your styles that you've worked so hard on in your original LMS haven't quite come across the way that you were hoping. And all that hard work that you've done in the original LMS to get all that styling fine-tuned, all the padding, the fonts, exactly how you like it, is now not looking how you want it to look. And you think, oh, I'm going to have to go through now and fix it all in this course. So it's a bit annoying, but yeah, I guess I can live with that, and I can fix it up. And don't know how I'm going to do it for all the rest of the courses, but at least my content's there. But then you start going through different types of content, not just the pages and modules. And you start thinking, hang on, I remember this piece of content only used to show if you completed a quiz. Where have all my adaptive release rules gone? They haven't come across. Wonder what's going on there. And I had a whole lot of SCORM packages in my original course. We'd worked a lot, very hard on those SCORM packages in a few different software and exported it as SCORM. And I thought SCORM was just meant to come across easily. Does that mean I have to go back and export them one by one? I've got hundreds of them. And you notice that, okay, now I've got to do manual effort to export and import all the SCORM content and link it to all the pages. And what about my rubrics? I remember this assignment. This was graded via a rubric. Where's that rubric in this course? It hasn't come across either. I've got lots of rubrics. How am I going to get all them across? And this course had maths formulas in it, and they've come across, but they do not look like maths formulas now. They look more like complex code than maths formulas. And now you start clicking around some of the links, and you realize that there's quite a few broken links, and this link used to link to another course, and that course doesn't exist yet. I haven't imported it yet. It's still in my old LMS, and that link's broken. What are we going to do about broken links and links to other courses? And I set up a lot of groups and group assignments, and they haven't come across. And the list just keeps going on and on of things that you find that haven't quite come across the way that you'd expected. So what are the features that you need for a successful course migration? It'd be great to have a cloud-based platform that anyone could really access over the internet. It'd be great if it had a self-service option so that I myself could migrate courses, and I could just configure my source LMS, my destination LMS, select the courses I want to migrate, and then off it goes. That would be wonderful. LMSs have a variety of different ways to get at the course content. Some of them offer rich APIs where you can get at the course content. Some of them have course export files, and some of them follow common cartridge format. So it'd be nice if it could adapt to the source and destination APIs or export formats so that we can get at that content. It'd be nice if it also generated a report so that when the migration of a course happened, that we could review the report and see if there were any errors. What content came across? Is that what I was expecting? Is there anything missing? And now that I'm in my new LMS, I've developed new course styles, new templates. It would be nice if it could transform my existing content into the new course styles and design guidelines that have been set, and uplift the course content as well at the same time as migrating the course content. And I've got a lot of courses in my old LMS. It would be nice if it could just mass migrate them all for me, and I didn't need to worry about a thing, all in parallel. And what content types do you typically see in a migration? We listed a few up front, but there are lots of different content types, and different LMSs have different content types and different quiz types and formula types. And here is a checklist that you can use to go through your course content, just to check if you are doing this yourself. How does all these different types of content come across? Does it come across the way I expected? Does it come across at all? So obviously there's the modules and pages. There's all the quizzes, and quizzes can sometimes have formulas or chemistry related formulas and that type of thing, and different quiz types, and the assignments, obviously, grades and submission data. You might want to leave that in the old LMS and not migrate that across, but sometimes you might want to migrate across the grades and submission data. The surveys, discussions, journals, blogs, all types of different files like videos, images, PDFs, PowerPoints, and documents. And videos can either be an MP4 or use like video streaming technology, and different LTI integrations like Panopto or Cultura for video integration, or Arc for Canvas. And some of the content like PDFs could come up as inline preview inside the page. Other types of content like files in the organization level files or course level files. And sometimes they're structured in weak modules, or sometimes it's completely unstructured in the source course. And you want to kind of do some housekeeping and cleanup when you do the import, and maybe do some cleanup and create structured weak modules and link all the material into those weak modules. Obviously, we spoke about links and link transformations, menus, third-party integrations and LTIs, rubrics, SCORM content, including linking the right SCORM content on the right page. It's grading schemas and different grading schemas, and linking those grading schemas to the assignments. There's groups, group assignments, the adaptive release rules, syllabus pages and calendars. And there's the new target state design that you come up with, as well as complex JavaScript interactives and maybe H5P interactives and those kind of things. So there's a quick checklist that you can take away and just go over your course and see what types of content that you have, and just practice and see how it comes across. So we've been doing migrations at Crystal Delta since about 2017, and we've come across a lot of different content types. And we've developed a tool, an automation tool that we call Crane. And that really takes away a lot of the manual effort associated with doing all that remediation work when content hasn't come across quite right. So it handles a lot of those different content types that the out-of-the-box LMS providers are missing in their course import tools. And as we've done more and more migrations, we've come across more and more of these content types, and we keep expanding out the Crane product to handle more and more of those content types. We've also recently evolved Crane to offer a self-service portal so the customer can configure their source and destination LMS. They can select their courses from their source LMS and click the migrate button, and away it goes, and it migrates in parallel up to thousands of courses in parallel, if you like. It scales out very nicely horizontally. We offer varying levels of service when we do a migration project. We can offer you the self-service portal and really not get involved, and you migrate all the courses yourselves. So that's the self-service portal option. But you may want us to also run the automation, and we can see common errors coming and tweak the migration tool as we see common errors occurring. So you may want us to do the automation only option. And we also offer a like-for-like migration, whereby we do a full QA of all the courses, and we do a manual remediation and fix anything that we found during the QA process. And so we call that the like-for-like offering. And we can also do a full course rebuild if you like. If you're not happy with the original courses and you want to start again from scratch and maybe rebuild all the courses, we offer that service as well. All these options, we always run a discovery phase to start off with, where we migrate a few of your sample courses from your source LMS into your new destination LMS. And we get to see, well, it's the first time during this phase, usually, that a customer has seen their courses in their new LMS. So it's a discovery phase, not just for us, for the migration purpose, but also for the customer, because they're really working out how they want their courses to look in this new LMS. And new templates get developed during this phase, either by us with our course build team, or by the customer with their in-house course build teams. So a new target template's developed, and we migrate into that new target template, we get feedback, and we tweak the migration process so that we can get the best results during the migration. We then kick off a mass migration in bulk with no changes or tweaking much to the automation, and just bulk migrate a whole heap of courses. This phase, we can break this up into batches so that you might want to have another feedback phase and see how that first batch went, maybe do some tweaks. So that could be batched up into batches. But in general, you can mass migrate a whole bunch of courses after that discovery phase. Each course that gets migrated gets an automated migration report saying what was migrated and any errors that it detected in the migration process. And then if you opted for the like-for-like option, we do a full QA, and we do manual fixes on anything that was found in the QA. And there's also the option to produce a gap analysis document, which is a manually typed document, which goes through some even higher level things like might review the video, and a video might have references to the old LMS in there. And so that would be captured in that gap analysis document, handed to the academic, and then the academic would know that, oh, okay, I might need to fix that video. And then we hand over to the academic. And that course is then ready, or those whole courses are then ready to be taught. Okay, so that was all about migration. So now that you've migrated all your courses into your new LMS, what about the old ones in your old LMS? Should I just decommission the old LMS now? But it doesn't quite feel right losing all those old courses. We put a lot of time and effort to create those courses, and now you're just going to throw them away. And don't I have to keep all that grade and submission data for a certain amount of time? What if a dispute happens in the future? So Crane not only does migration, it also does archiving of your courses. So why archive your courses? It's great if you are changing LMS providers. Once you switch to a new provider, you don't really want to lose all that history of those old courses. Often we only migrate the latest version of each course. And so all the previous versions that are taught over previous semesters and terms and years don't get migrated, because that's not the latest copy of the course. But it has, those older courses have all that information around the grade and submission data. So it's great if you're changing LMSs that you keep all that historical data. It's also great if you have an existing LMS and you may be paying an additional storage cost on your existing LMS, and you want to reduce that storage cost by archiving off the courses. It's great for compliance. There's regulations, government regulations, which state that you need to keep course content for at least 7 years, and particularly the grade and submission data. So it's great to meet that compliance obligation. It's also great for students, teachers, alumni, and course admin staff, so that they can access old course content when they need to. And it would be great if not just archiving your course, if you could actually see a preview of the content and actually see the actual content, rather than just sitting somewhere that nobody can access in a zip file or something like that. And it'd be good though if you did still have that old LMS lying around, or it could be your existing one, that you could restore that archive just in case you wanted to see the original content back in its original form. So key features of an archiving solution. It'd be great if it was cloud-based access and you could access it over the internet. It'd be great if you could access the actual course content, so you could see all your old course content. It'd be great to see the grade data, all the submissions and feedback data. If it had role-based access and security features, so that only people could see the data that they were allowed to see. If the enrollment information could all be maintained so that if a student logged in, they would only see their courses and they wouldn't have access to the whole university catalog. So maintaining that enrollment information and even the role information, that it was a student or a teacher or an admin, if we could maintain that information in the archive as well. Be nice to restore the archive back to the original LMS if required. And if you were switching LMSs, it would be great to combine the migration process with the archiving process. And it would be nice to securely manage the users and the role-based access and who's allowed to see what information. So Crane, we also built in an archiving solution to Crane. So it not only does the migration meets your migration needs, it also handles your archiving requirements. So it can archive all your old courses, giving you peace of mind that they are safe and secure. And you can give people access to the content and information that they need, and give different levels of access. So there is the concept of students, teachers, alumni, and administration staff, and it does preserve all the enrollment information so that people can only see the courses that they're allowed to see. So it enhances the student experience because they can see all their old courses and all the old course content, and they have access to all that material and all that data. And so no longer, if there was a dispute, would you need to engage your operation teams if you had archived into a zip file type format and not able to see the content. It saves the need to then engage operational staff to retrieve those courses from backups, restore them, and then grant temporary access to users that need to see it. So it does reduce that operational burden. So Crane Archive is a simple and easy and secure way to really archive all your old courses and keep them safe and secure for when you need them. So the summary and key takeaways from this presentation. Crane migration automation reduces the manual remediation effort when migrating courses, and it saves everyone time, saves the cost, brings down the cost of the project, and also improves the quality of the course content. It also takes away the monotonous work done by smart people, where they would have to be over and over again doing the same sort of monotonous tasks to uplift and remediate courses. And you can use those people, those smart people, instead to do high valued work like actually improving the course content and the student experience. And lastly, Crane Archiving, it gives you peace of mind that you can meet your compliance obligations, ensuring that all your old courses are safe and accessible online, whilst reducing your operational costs. So make sure if you've enjoyed anything that you've heard or saw today, that you book in for a demo. We would love to show you how we can fast track your LMS migration or help archive your old courses. So that's really it for the presentation today. I hope you've all enjoyed the presentation.